Hey there, storytellers! Welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 9 of Bookoween. Today's video, as you can tell from the title down below, is going to be a complete everything you need to have a great spooky reading / movie night, a survival kit, if you will. So my intentions with this survival kit, if you will, is that it be either something you sort of have on the ready in your bookish life, so that when you have a free moment to get into spooky novels or some spooky movies or both, you have everything ready to go. You can create your perfect little autumnal spooky reading nook. Or alternatively, if you have a bookish person in your life, a book lover, a reader, you can create a little Halloweeny package to send to them so that they have a perfect spooky autumn reading / movie night kit. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So first order of business is coziness, and the first thing you need for your kit is a cozy sweatshirt or sweater, whatever your most comfortable autumnal sweater favorite is, or sweatshirt. Just grab it, have it ready to go near where you're going to sit to do your reading or movie watching. That way you can just be extra cozy. This particular one is one I really enjoy. It is thick enough that I stay warm without getting too overheated, and the fleece inside is super soft. The color is like this happy pink, but it's also perfectly autumnal with its little pumpkin patch hanging out right on the left side of the chest. So it's a simple but really cozy sweatshirt. The second cozy item that I would say is a requirement are cozy socks. Now, you might be a slipper person and maybe sitting on slippers doesn't bother you, but if you're like me, any sort of minor discomfort while you're trying to focus on reading or a movie is just too annoying for you to fully focus. So my solution has always been thick, cozy socks. These are cabin socks. They have really thick fuzziness on the inside and sort of, depending on the version you get, I would say a wool or synthetic wool thick outside, so that they stay really toasty and warm and cozy, and they're great for sitting on. They don't have those plastic bottoms that a lot of slippers have that get uncomfortable. Now that you've covered the sort of upper region and your feet, you know, the two areas where you're more likely to get chilly, if you will, we have to cover just sort of the general coziness, and for that you need a really comfy blanket. And bonus points if you have a spooky one. Mine happens to be this white fleece one that I got in a subscription box. It has The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe on it with some pictures of like a raven's and a skull, so definitely spooky vibes. It is super soft and it's not the longest, so it's perfect for if I want to like tuck my feet up underneath me and stay warm without having everything be totally covered with a blanket. I tend to overheat when I do that. I don't know about you. But yes, you're going to want a cozy blanket for tucking yourself under whilst you're reading. The next category you need to cover in your survival kit is atmosphere. Now, everybody lives in different buildings, in different spaces that have different amenities and whatnot. So I came up with a couple ideas for creating a perfect cozy fall atmosphere that doesn't rely on any sort of additional amenities in your space. It will work no matter where you are, except probably in a college dorm room. You could possibly get in trouble for one of the items. So maybe come up with a different solution. So that being said, my first suggestion for a cozy fall atmosphere is a candle that preferably has an autumnal scent to it. This one is Ambitious Wizards by Frostbeard Studio. It is one of my favorites. It has this sort of incensey, heady, smoky kind of feel to it, which I enjoy always, but I do think it is a perfect autumnal spooky smell. Great vibes, especially if you're not somebody who likes food smelling candles. I don't tend to do well with really food scented candles, which eliminates a lot of the other fall ones like the apples and the pumpkins and all that. So this is my suggestion, and like I said, this might not work if you're in a college dorm room, so my suggestion would be to maybe find a YouTube video of a crackling fireplace to give you that sort of flame glow and crackling sound without causing a fire hazard. And the second part of atmosphere is a little decor, and my particular suggestion would be some tiny pumpkins. This little velvet one was a few dollars from Target. I bought a couple of them. I don't usually keep them in here, so that's why I only have the one. It matches my sweatshirt. But I would recommend a couple little pumpkins of your choosing. They don't have to be expensive. I do think the pumpkins add the perfect autumnal spooky touch. Pumpkins just go with any autumn vibes that you might have, so that is why I recommend a pumpkin. And especially if they're tiny and you don't have a lot of storage to store decorations when not in use, they won't take up a ton of space, but you can still get your vibes. Now, the next part of your survival kit is snacks. You're going to want to munch something while you're reading or watching your spooky films, so my classic recommendation would have to be popcorn. You can go with whatever brand you like, or kettle corn. I think a classic sea salt is the way to go, because my second recommendation, of course, is going to be an autumnal candy. They pair so well together, especially if you're watching a movie, but I do think they pair well no matter what. I have the Cadbury Harvest Mix here. Some sea salt popcorn, a little salty sweet action never hurts when you're in the middle of a good spooky novel or a good spooky movie. And of course, if you wanted to go the extra mile and provide sort of autumnal spooky bowls for them to go in, you know, a little bowl with a cat on it or a pumpkin bowl, anything like that, the extra mile would be a fantastic addition to your kit. But I hear you say, I'm going to get thirsty at some point, and while of course I recommend that you have a water with you to stay properly hydrated, that way you don't overheat, I also think it's really important to have a warm, cozy beverage, because we are reading spooky books, and spooky books give you the shivers. So you need your favorite warm beverage, and for me, that is Big Train Spiced Chai. This is the coziest, creamiest tea that I've ever found. I absolutely love spiced chai. I like their vanilla as well, but this one I think is perfect. Or you could do something like sending them mulling spices if you're sending the kit to someone, so that they can buy some apple cider and make mulled cider to drink if they don't like to drink caffeinated beverages. But you can send them coffee, teas, whatever works. Obviously, you don't have to send them a huge big canister. You could just send them a couple tea bags, anything. Or, you know, just find your ideal tea and keep it in stock nearby. Now, I get not doing spooky bowls. That's not for everybody, but I do think it's incredibly important for your self-care, or if you're sending this kit to somebody else, that you send them a perfect autumnal spooky mug. Mine is orange. It says Witch's Brew on a black cauldron with some white bubbles. I got this at Michael's, I think, a couple years ago. It was not very expensive, but it was perfect. It kind of was autumnal and spooky and Halloweeny all in one, without me feeling like I need to change it out at any point. I feel like I can use it from September through November and feel like it's appropriate for my fall vibes. But I recommend getting them a spooky little mug so that they can drink their hot beverage in something appropriately spooky to keep the vibes going. Of course, if you're doing a spooky reading kit, they're going to need a spooky bookmark. This is literally just one-sided. It is a piece of scrapbook paper I had a little bit extra of, and it just has these cats on it with stars and crescent moons on an orange background. It's just perfectly Halloweeny, and I decided to keep the extra bit because it looked like the perfect size bookmark. So you can use whatever works. You can get a fancy black cat bookmark, or you can just DIY them with some fun craft paper. All right. Now we're getting to it. The actual creme de la creme, if you will, of the survival kit. You need to include a spooky novel or spooky movies for either yourself or whoever you're sending the kit to. Of course, you can go with non-spooky vibes. That would just be sort of an autumnal reading kit. You can go with something like a lighthearted Halloweeny graphic novel like Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, or you can go with something semi-spooky but still appropriate like From the Dust Returned by Ray Bradbury. I haven't read this yet, but it gives me major Addams Family vibes, so I imagine it's somewhere in between spooky and silly. Next, you should include a spooky film, or, you know, I guess you could include a TV series for yourself if you were, you know, renting it, but you should include some kind of spooky film to watch. I would personally recommend The Woman in Black, or we have The Shining and the sequel, which I haven't seen, Dr. Sleep. This is a perfect way to create an all-encompassing both movie night and reading night kit for yourself or the reader in your life, because The Shining and Dr. Sleep are also novels by Stephen King. So you could include spooky books that go with their spooky film adaptations. The Woman in Black is also a perfect set of a book and a spooky movie that go together based on each other. Good stuff. But you definitely need some kind of spooky entertainment if you're going to be creating this survival kit. And last but not least, when things start bumping, when you start hearing sounds and your heart's racing from the spooky novel or the spooky movie, you're just gonna need to not be alone. Maybe you have somebody in the house with you, but maybe you don't. Maybe you live alone and you just need a little something extra. If you have a live, cozy cuddling companion and a fur baby, I highly suggest cuddling with them. But if, like me, you have a fur baby that does not like to sit still long enough to cuddle for extended periods of time, you can include for yourself or your bookish friend or loved one a little stuffed fur baby to cuddle with, to keep them company while they're reading their spooky novels or watching their spooky films, or both. This, of course, is Pusheen, and she's just a little gray cat. She's very chubby, she's very soft, she's great for cuddling, but you know, go with whatever animal they prefer, especially if they're, you know, stuffed ones. You can grab whatever works. But that is it for this all-encompassing everything you need for the perfect spooky reading / movie night survival kit, either for yourself or for a loved one. If you enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like down below, and if you have any suggestions for what you would include in your perfect survival kit, let me know those down in the comments, because I would love to know what other things I could include in my own personal movie watching kit to make it even more cozy and perfect spooky vibes. So share those with me, share those with everybody else down in the comments. For now, I'm going to get going. If you want to keep up with me and all of my bookish adventures, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. And of course, I highly recommend that you ring the little bell so that you don't miss a beat, because Bookoween is charging on tomorrow. So you're going to want to ring the bell so that you get notified when I post a new video, which in the month of October is going to be every day. And I will see you tomorrow on the next one. Bye!